Okay, welcome to another day of Read Rich and Righteous: Spiritual Secrets to Mastering Money, Manifestation, and Your Mind. My name is Jullien Gordon, and this book was downloaded to me and through me, and I'm so glad to be reading it. I got a nudge from Spirit about 2.5 months ago. Said, Jullien, read the book that I gave you out loud, and here we are. We've been here every weekday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every weekday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, reading about 4 to 8 pages of the book. And it's been an absolute blessing. I thank all of you who continue to show up. You're not showing up for me, you're showing up for yourself. And yesterday we talked about tithing time. Okay. A lot of people focus on tithing money, right? But we know that the greatest currency is not money, right? It's not this paper money. The greatest currency is the energy inside your body. And so what would it look like to create a life where you tithe your time? So if we're awake for 16 hours, then tithing your time looks like giving at least 96 minutes, about an hour and a half, to God. And that's what we're doing. First thing here in the morning, we're spending about 45 minutes to an hour together. I also did my meditation this morning and did my meditation. So I'm almost at by the time we're done here, I'll be around my 96-minute mark, meaning that I'm giving my first fruits. I'm giving my first fruits, which is the time that God has given to me, right, back to God. And if you think about tithing back in the day, tithing was not of money. See, this is what the church has fooled you to believe. Tithing was not of money. Tithing was of the livestock that God gives birth to, right? Man does not give birth to livestock. Tithing was also of the fruit. Man can create the conditions for that fruit to manifest, but it is God that actually multiplies that fruit. And then tithing was also of grains and oils, right? So what we're doing is we're tithing from the thing that God gave to us to remind ourselves that this life is not our own. We are here to remind ourselves that this life that we are living is not our own, and that there is something that is breathing through us, right? So this is why we always come back to the breath, to remember that there is something that is breathing through us. We are literally just instruments, and God is breathing through us. We cannot stop our breath unless we commit suicide. We cannot stop our breath. Unless we commit suicide, we cannot stop our breath. So what does that mean? That means that something is breathing through us. And as long as that thing, whatever it is, whatever you decide to call it, is breathing through you, then it means that you still have a purpose here, that you still have work to do here in this earthly realm. And so it's been beautiful to tithe time with you all. Okay. Not just volunteering and serving youth on the weekends and things of that nature. Those are beautiful things. I've done that and I do that. Right. But we are tithing time daily. Before we go work for another man or another woman, we are giving our first fruit to the Creator, to the Most High, the source of all, the source of all. Okay. And so this has been a beautiful practice that we've developed. I had no intention for this space. I was just being obedient, right? How did you become successful? I was obedient. I was obedient to the call on my life. I was obedient to my purpose. That's how I became successful. It wasn't because I worked harder than anybody, because it wasn't because of the schools I went to. It wasn't because I was smarter than anybody. No, it's because I was obedient to my purpose. I was obedient to God's will for my life. I put my personal will aside and I led, seek ye first the kingdom of God and all its righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. That's how I became successful. You put me on a stage, right? I win a Grammy. That's exactly what I'm saying. So, yeah, this is a new way of navigating this earthly realm that has told you to do the exact opposite. It's about how hard you work. It's about what schools you went to. It's about what company you work for. It ain't about none of that, family. It ain't about none of that. All right. And so we are going to be walking demonstrations that there's another way to navigate this world, have success in it, while also not losing our souls. Okay. We are not in the business of selling our souls, right? We are here to actually allow our souls to fully express, and our souls being the God that is within us, to fully express itself in this reality. To fully express itself in this reality, to bring heaven on earth. That is why we are here. And so if you're just joining us for the first time, we are reading Rich and Righteous: Spiritual Secrets of Mastering Money, Manifestation, in Your Mind. You can get the book. I've pinned that post on Instagram and on YouTube. It's at moneyandmanifestation.com. If you go to amazon.com, you will pay $100 for one book. Yes, this book is priced at $100 on Amazon if you go there right now. Okay. But if you go to moneyandmanifestation.com, you can actually get 5 copies for the price of one. Okay. You also get the rituals workbook, which is all the exercises, the rituals that you see at the end of each chapter. And you also get the audio book. So we encourage you to go there instead. And then also, if you are in a state of lack, if you are in a temporary state of lack, you can get a book for free. If you are in a temporary state of lack, okay, do not do this if you are not in lack. Okay. If you're in a temporary state of lack and you need a defibrillator to get you jump started, or you need a jump start like a car does, then you can actually go to our Facebook group at www.facebook.com/groups, facebook.com/groups/rich and righteous. We are the rich and righteous. And you can go there, and there are literally people who have bought the set of 5 books, and they are actually looking to give away their other 4 copies. And so before you go into that group and you post, hey, can I get a book? No, what you do is you actually look first for people who are seeking to give. So I don't want you to put up a white flag and I'm in victim consciousness. Please, somebody give me a book. No, go through the first 15 to 20 posts, and you will literally see people who are actively saying, I have an extra book, DM me, message me, etc. So start there. Okay. Start there first. If you're in a temporary state of lack. If you're not in a state of lack, I encourage you to go buy the book and actually be a giver. Okay. Those people who are in a temporary state of lack, they need to develop their asking muscle, right? You have not because you ask not, right? Asking ye shall find. For those who are in abundance right now, we are developing our giving muscle. We're learning how to give in the way that God gives, and that means giving sustainably, right? So with that, we're going to go into today's reading. Today's reading is actually the shortest chapter in the book. Just like in the Bible, the shortest verse is Jesus wept, right? So this is actually a short chapter. We are on page 283. We're still in the section. Actually, this is the last reading in our money commandment number 7, right? And then we're going to go into money commandment number 8 tomorrow. Okay, so we are on page 283 today, and let's begin our reading. All right. If Instagram messes up today for whatever reason, you can go straight over to YouTube. If YouTube messes up today, then you can go straight over to Instagram. All right. Beautiful. So we're on 283. Is it expensive or expansive? Notice that there's only one letter change there. There's only one letter change there. It's an E and an A. And if you ask this question whenever you are reaching into your pocket to use money, right? This question alone would change the way you use this resource, this stored energy, this inert spiritual substance that we call money. It is stored energy. It is an inert spiritual substance. It is neither good nor bad. What makes money good or bad is the intention of the person that's holding it, and then how they use it. So if you are good and you use it for good, then this money is good. If you are good and you use it for bad, then this money is bad. If you are coming from a place of ill will, right, and you use it for ill will, then this money is bad. Okay, so it's the intention. You get to charge this inert spiritual substance. It has no charge until you have it in your possession. Okay, so with that, let's proceed. The scripture for the day: the kingdom of heaven is like treasure hidden in a field. When a man found it, he hid it again, and then in his joy, he went and sold all he had and bought that field. Matthew 13:44. Okay. We are always seeking to resurrect and elevate energy to a higher state. Okay. Remember, this is stored energy. It is in its lowest state as money. Okay. It is in its lowest state as money. This energy is stuck here as dead presidents. Okay. So we are always seeking to resurrect and elevate that energy to a higher state. The reason we spend money is because we don't really want it. The reason we spend money is because we don't really want it. This can't do us much good in this state. We can't eat this. Okay. I can't take a shower with this. I can't house myself with this. I can't wear this, right? I can't drink this. In this state, it does us no good, family. I hope this is getting through to you. In this state, this is the lowest state of energy. And this is why it is the lowest yielding at only 0.03% interest in your savings account. This is the lowest state of energy. It is stuck in this paper form. Okay? The reason we spend money is because we don't really want it. We seek it because what we believe it can get us. Cash is the world's lowest yielding asset, but it is the most liquid. Okay? What do I mean by liquid? Liquid means that it can easily be converted into personal capital. It can easily be converted into intellectual capital. It can easily be converted into social capital. It can easily be converted into human capital. It can easily be converted into physical capital. So I can go buy a computer with this very easily. Okay, I can go hire a VA with this very easily. I can go buy a book with this very easily. Intellectual capital. I can go buy a relationship, take somebody to lunch with this very easily. I can go invest in myself and go get the Gallup Strength Finder or Myers-Briggs test with this very easily. So that's what makes it liquid, is because it's easy to convert into the other 5 forms of capital. Remember, there's 6 forms of capital: personal, intellectual, social, financial, human, and physical. This is the easiest one to convert into the other ones. If I have a computer, I can't easily convert a computer into a social relationship, into more social capital, right? It's not as easy. It's not as liquid. So the only reason we truly value money in this form is because it is liquid. Is this making sense? Okay. Everybody type liquid but low. Everybody type money is liquid but low. Everybody type that in. Liquid but low. It's valuable because it's liquid, but it is also the lowest yielding asset in the entire world. Liquid but low. I need you to understand that money in this form, it's liquid, but it's low in value. Okay? Our responsibility as gods on earth is to elevate this to the highest state that it can operate at. It's liquid, but it's low. Okay? Its liquidity is the primary reason we value it. The man in the scripture above gave up all he had. The man in the scripture above gave up all he had accumulated, which was his material wealth. Uh-oh. Instagram, that's probably going to cut you off. I just had an alarm go off. Instagram, that's probably going to cut you off. Instagram, can you hear me? Instagram, can you hear me? Dang. 1 second, y'all. Oh, I live by alarms, family. Not alarms to wake up, but Instagram, can you hear me? Go to YouTube. Dang. Go to YouTube. Go to YouTube. I just don't know how a phone alarm stops my Instagram sound. All right. I'm going to have to start that over. Go to YouTube. Hopefully, folks come on over. Dang, I was on a roll. So we have backups, y'all. I'm going to start us over on IG real quick. Live. Sorry about that, y'all. Dang. All right. All right. Folks are coming back on, and I think folks came over from IG. So good. All right. YouTube is usually the best. We've only had YouTube act up one day. Rana says we are fine. Can hear you now. Okay, cool. All right, beautiful. Thank you for your patience, everybody, with the technology. All right. So the man in the scripture above, I'm going to read the scripture again. The kingdom of heaven is like treasure hidden in a field. When a man found it, he hid it again. And then in his joy, he went and sold all he had and bought that field. Okay. The man in the scripture above gave up all he had accumulated, which was his material wealth, to buy treasure hidden in the field. Listen to this. The true treasure is wealth consciousness. The true treasure is wealth consciousness. How come some people can hear me on Instagram and some people can't? Please go to YouTube. Go to YouTube. Go to YouTube. All right, those must be first timers. Anytime Instagram acts up, please just go to YouTube. Go to my YouTube. All right. Try this one more time, y'all. Come on. And now I'm going to shut down Instagram. All right. Sorry about that. I hate disrupting the flow, but it is what it is, family. We are all good. Boom. Trying one more again. One more again. All right, cool. I see the numbers coming up on YouTube, so I'm assuming that y'all are here from Instagram. So beautiful. All right, cool. So right now on YouTube, we have 430 people here, but only 198 likes. So please, while we're making this transition and allowing people to come over, please hit that like button. That's all I really ask of you so that we can get this wealth consciousness out to as many people as possible. For those who are on Instagram coming back, apologies. Don't know. Can't call it. It's all good, but we're here. We always have a backup on YouTube. Everybody on Instagram, we always have a backup on YouTube. Okay. So with that, we're on page 283. The true treasure is wealth consciousness, and the field is the quantum field where all things are possible. So this man had accumulated this, okay, material possessions. And what he did, he went out into this field. He went out into the quantum field where all things are possible. With God, all things are possible. He went out into the quantum field and he obtained wealth consciousness. He realized that the little that he had accumulated or a lot that he had accumulated materially was minuscule to what was actually possible. And so he was willing to give up all of the material possessions that he had to obtain the wealth consciousness, to obtain access to the quantum field. If you study quantum physics, you will start to understand there's a deeper study that we have to go into. Okay. Some of you are holding on to the $25,000 in your bank account as if that is wealth. When the reality is that you will likely have to invest that $25,000 into yourself in order to truly obtain wealth. You have nothing to defend. That $25,000 in your bank account is not something to defend. That is actually what you invest. That is what you actually give up to get more. Now, I'm not diminishing you. That $25,000 in your bank account, that $100,000 in your bank account may be more money than you ever seen. But if you hold on to that as if that is your wealth, it will prevent you from multiplying it. The person who has 10,000 will have to give up that 10,000 to obtain 100,000. The person who has 100,000 will have to give up that 100,000 and invest it back into themselves in order to get to 1,000,000. The person who has 1,000,000 will actually have to give up that 1,000,000, reinvest that 1,000,000, not hold on to that 1,000,000. You cannot hold on to that 1,000,000 and expect to get to 10 million. You actually have to invest that 1,000,000 in order to multiply it into 10 million. But you are holding on to this and you are playing defense when you actually have nothing to defend. What did Nipsey say? What's the point of playing defense? That's why I dove off the deep end without a life jacket. All money in. You want to wear all this Nipsey Hustle stuff, all this marathon gear. It says all money in. All money into the idea. All money into you, the individual. But many of you have all money in a bank account. You have all your money in a bank account because you believe that bank account is going to yield more than you can yield. You are the fertile soil. You're supposed to be planting this into your temple, into the fertile soil of your subconscious mind, but instead you're letting it sit in a bank account and they are the ones multiplying it. If you sold everything that you had right now, and I'm not asking you to do this in terms of homelessness or anything, but guess what? Some of the things that you're holding on as prized possessions, if you release them and put them back in, to put that resource back into yourself, you would find that when you lift your head up 5 years from now, you would have 10 times more than you have today. But you're defending what you think is wealth. You are defending what you think is wealth because it is more than you've had. Are y'all understanding this? Everybody here, shout out to Nipsey. Everybody type all money in. You want to hold on to that $25,000 and hope that it doubles to 50. When the reality is that you have to invest, take 10,000 of that, put that in your emergency fund, and then invest the other 15 into yourself in order to multiply it to 100. It's not just going to multiply by itself. It's not going to multiply by itself. When you're given an apple, you take the apple, you eat of it a little bit, you enjoy it, but then you take the seeds that are in it and you put it back into the ground. So you saving money is actually financial insecurity. It is showing me, and actually not showing me, it's showing the universe that you don't believe in you. You don't believe in the God in you. Saving money is, you think it's financial security, but it's actually financial insecurity, because you're saying that I don't know how to multiply this money at a greater rate than 0.03%. I don't know how to make 3 cents off of this $100 in a year. That's what you're literally saying. Every time you save money in a bank account, you're literally saying to the universe, I don't know how to make this $100 turn into $100.03 over the course of a year. So I'm just going to let the bank do it. That's literally what you're saying. Oh, but Jullien, no, that is what you're saying. When Tupac said, I'm trying to make $1 out of 15 cents, you want to know what the return on investment is? That's a 566% return. If you're able to turn 15 cents into $1, that is a 566% return. So you are speaking and communicating to God and to the universe, who is your infinite source of supply, by how you're behaving and where your money is sitting. Is this making sense? If you really want to honor Nipsey, all money in. Okay? So I'm going to repeat this. The true treasure is wealth consciousness. Because if I have wealth consciousness, what happens if I have $0 but I have wealth consciousness? If I have $0 in my bank account but I have wealth consciousness, what happens? In due time, I will be wealthy again. Materially, I already know I'm wealthy. My bank account does not reflect who I am. It does not tell me whether or not I'm a child of God. It does not tell me whether or not abundance is my birthright. I'm in a temporary material state, but I know who I am. And soon enough, I will be wealthy again. Jay-Z said, put me anywhere on God's green earth and I'll triple my worth. You're not wealthy if you have money in your account, but you're afraid to lose it. Because what you're really saying is that I don't know how to do this again. What you're really saying is this was luck. I got this by luck. If you started me over from scratch, I would not know how to do this again. This was luck. That's not wealth consciousness. That's when you are living in fear. You have money, but you're living in fear. So the true treasure is wealth consciousness. And the field is the quantum field where all things are possible. Once you experience the quantum field and you obtain wealth consciousness, then you are willing to take any of this that you have and put it back, give it back, to sell it in order to obtain that. I want to live a life that has no limitations. Most people live predictable lives. You know when they're going to retire. You know how much money they're going to make. You know how much they're going to have at death. You know what their vacations are going to look like. You know how many kids they're going to have. Most people live predictable lives, but the reality is we don't want to live predictable lives. If I gave you a piece of paper right now and said, here's the rest of your life on it, here's the rest of your life. If you receive this paper, you have to live it out to a T. Would you want that piece of paper? Would you want that piece of paper? Would you want to know how the next 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years are going to play out? Would you want to know? No. So we behave as if we want life to be predictable, but in the reality, we don't want our life to be predictable. We want to have infinite possibility before us. But in the way that we move, we actually limit those possibilities. So the man in the scripture, he perceived wealth consciousness or mental wealth as more valuable than material wealth. You can teach a boy how to fish, but even more powerful than that is also owning the pond where all of the fish are. Owning the pond is what wealth consciousness is. So you know the aphorism or whatnot. You can teach a boy how to. You can give a boy a fish, or you can teach him how to fish, and he'll eat forever. Right? Give a boy a fish, and he'll eat for a day. Teach a boy how to fish, and he'll eat forever. I have a remix for you. You can teach a boy how to fish, but even more powerful than that is also owning the pond where all of the fish are. When you own the pond, you know that your body is made up of what, 75% water. So when you own the pond, you realize that all things are possible. You're not even worried about one fish because you own the entire pond. Owning the pond, owning the realm of infinite possibility, that is wealth consciousness. When you know that there are a million ways to make $1 million, that I don't just have to go through a job. That's what you've been conditioned to believe, is that a job is the only way for you to make money. This is why the most negative book in the Bible, with the exception of Revelations, is called Job or Job. You think that's a coincidence? I don't want to give a boy a fish. I don't just want to teach him how to fish. My question is, how do I own the pond that all the fish are in? How many of you ever thought of that? The reason I was able to think of it because my wealth consciousness elevated, and I was able to see more than that aphorism was actually giving. At a certain level, there are people who operate, just give me a fish. That's poverty consciousness, right? Just give me a fish. I need a fish today. I'm hungry. Give me a fish. Give me a fish. Well, you could do better if I actually taught you how to fish, and then you can go catch fish for your own. Okay? That's another level of consciousness, right? But an even higher level of consciousness is, how do I own the pond? How do I own the realm of infinite possibility? How do I hold that in my imagination? You see how elevating in your wealth consciousness allows you to see possibilities that were not before you? This is where I need you to move. This is where I'm trying to move you. All right. So I'm going to read that scripture over, and now you're going to hear it differently. The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in a field. When a man found it, he hid it again, and then in his joy, he went and sold all that he had and bought that field. Basically, he bought the pond. He was willing to give up everything materially to actually buy the pond. Because from the pond, I can recreate all of this material stuff that I currently have. Times 10, times 100, times 1,000. I need to own the pond, not just hold on to what I've accumulated thus far. Is this making sense? So that $25,000 in your bank account, I just want you to know, if you want to multiply it, you'll likely have to sacrifice it. If you want to multiply it, you will likely have to sacrifice it. But Jullien, I want to hold on to it. It makes me feel secure. Okay, then you stay in your realm of security. Security means that you've trapped yourself in, that you created limitations. You're protected from the outside. But when you protect yourself from the outside, guess what? That means that nothing can come in. Some of you are so secure, you built this moat around yourself financially. And yes, You're keeping bad things out, but you're also keeping good things out. You're keeping more flow from coming into you, into your personal economy. That was just the first paragraph, y'all. Cool. Second paragraph, page 283. In order to use the stored energy you've been given at the highest level in your awareness, you have to know the difference between expensive and expansive. Expensive and expansive, only one letter difference, but huge levels of difference in consciousness. Something is expensive when the money leaves you and it never comes back. So it is expensive when you go buy something and it's gone forever. You will never see this $100 bill with LB 28151869D ever again. You've let it go out of your consciousness. It will never come back to you. That is something that is expensive. It has a short shelf life. It has monetary value and depletes your bank account instantly. It has momentary value and depletes your bank account instantly. This is why we spend as little money as possible. Remember, spend, SP-END. If you're new here, please type SP-END. Everybody. We just need to continue to remind ourselves, when we spend money, we end money. When we spend money, we end money. When we spend money, we end money. And I want to thank God that we have 625 people so far today. If you haven't liked or shared this already, please do so. But I want to give all praises to the Most High that we have about 625 people here today. Okay? Listen, this is the next definition. Something is expansive when the money leaves you and it comes back with friends. Something is expansive when the money leaves you, it leaves your possession, but then it comes back with friends. Remember that song, Puff Daddy? You tell your friends to get with my friends and we could be friends. So this is what I tell Benjamin Franklin. Look, I'm about to let you go. You tell your friends to get with my friends and we could be friends. So I'm going to let you go. I need you to go out there. I need you to bring back some friends. I need you to bring back some other Benjamins. I need you to bring back some other Hamiltons. I need you to bring back some other Washingtons. So I'm going to let you go, though. I know I need to let you go out there to go get it. But you tell your friends to get with my friends and we could be friends. Okay? This is what we call releasing money. When you lease something, you still own it even though it's not in your possession. When you lease something, you still own it. I'm not talking about you as the consumer. Me as an entrepreneur, if I have a Turo business or I have a rental car business, I release my car. I'm leasing my car to somebody. It is not in my possession, but it is still in my ownership. The deed is still in my name. It is coming back to me eventually. This is the mindset that I need you to get into. You think that having it in your possession and owning it is what you need to do. I need to have it. Me having it in my possession shows my ownership. But then if it's in your possession, then it's not working for you. It's just sitting there in your possession. You have to let it go, lease it out to somebody, right? In order for it to come back to you with friends. I'm going to have you thinking about these hip hop songs differently. Okay? Something is expansive when money leaves and comes back with friends. It has long-term monetary value, though it may feel like it is depleting you in the short term without instant gratification. This is the issue. So something that is expensive has momentary value and depletes your bank account instantly. Something that is expansive has long-term monetary value, though it may feel like it's depleting you in the short term without instant gratification. Okay? So as we discussed earlier, in commandment number 1, everything costs time, not just money. So let's look at Black Friday. Let's look at a Black Friday deal on a 50-inch flat screen TV through the lens of whether it is expensive or expansive. Let's say the TV normally costs $1,200, right? But there's a Black Friday doorbuster to get it for $400. Okay? From a monetary perspective, it appears that you were saving how much money? Normally, this TV costs $1,200, but there's a Black Friday doorbuster, right, that says that you can get it for $400. What is the perceived gain for you? It appears that you were saving how much money? It appears with these two eyes that you were getting an $800 discount, correct? That's what it appears to be. Okay. Now, if you only earn $20 per hour, you just save yourself how much time? If you only earn $20 an hour and you're about to save $800 on this TV, how much time did you just save? How much time did you just save? 800 divided by 20 means that you saved 40 hours. You basically saved an entire week. You got an entire week of your life back because they discounted this TV. You got a whole week of your life back because they discounted this TV. But here's the problem. The true cost of the TV is all of the wasted time you will spend paying attention to programs it offers. The true cost of the TV is not financial, family. The true cost of the TV is the time that you are going to sit in front of it watching it. If you spend 2 hours a day watching TV at 365 days a year, let's just round that down to 350, right? So 2 hours every single day, that's 700 hours of TV. But you currently earn $20 an hour. So you could have made $14,000 with that time, but instead, this TV that you thought you got it on a discount is actually costing you. You could have made an additional $14,000 that year. So the true cost of the TV is actually the time you're going to spend watching it, not what you actually pay for it. This is how I need you to rethink all of your purchases. This is how I need you to rethink all of your purchases. Every purchase that you make, I need you to run it through this lens. You can't afford to pay attention to an actor or athlete's life. I need everybody to type that. I can't afford to pay attention. Remember, you're paying attention. I can't afford to pay attention to an actor or athlete's life. I need you to type that. I can't afford to pay attention to an actor or an athlete's life. I can't afford to pay attention to an actor or an athlete's life. You can't afford it, family. That's part of the reason you're broke. You cannot afford to pay attention to an actor or an athlete's life. Why do you know what's going on in Beyonce and Jay-Z's life? Why do you know the stats of the Super Bowl quarterbacks? Why do you know how many yards the receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs has got this year? Why? Tell me, how is that helping you get free and walk in your God-given purpose? Just if you can explain it to me, that's perfectly fine. If you're planning on being an ESPN sports broadcaster, then keep doing that, okay? But anybody who is not planning on being an ESPN sports broadcaster, that is irrelevant to you in your life. What's going on with Beyonce and Jay-Z and Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, what's going on in their life is irrelevant to you. I cannot afford to pay attention to an actor or an athlete's life. The average American spends 4 hours per day watching TV. That's 1,460 hours per year, while the 40-hour work week totals up to 2,000 hours per year if you get 2 weeks of vacation. If you spent that time figuring out how you could make at least another $40 per hour outside of your job through an online business, you could have earned an additional $58,000 in a year. And if you were able to think beyond the hourly mindset, $100,000 per year is only $274 per day. which is only $11.42 per hour, which is only 19 cents per minute. In 1,460 hours, do you think you can find an idea that could pay you at least 2 dimes per minute? I think so. What if all of you simply dedicated any excess thought energy that you had to figuring out how you could make 19 cents per minute? You would have a $100,000 a year business. You would have a 6-figure business if you could just dedicate all of your thought energy to asking yourself, what value can I give and create in the world that would cause the world to give me 19 cents per minute? When you get off your job, the question should be, what value and gift can I give to the world that would cause it to give me 19 cents per minute? Because if I could figure that out, I would have a 6-figure business. All I need the world to give me is 19 cents a minute. So my question is, how do I create 50 cents of value for the world every single minute so that I can at least receive 19 back? Everybody type 19 cents per minute. That's all you need to have $100,000 per year. You want 6 figures? All it is 19 cents per minute. What value could I give to the world? How could I create 50 cents of value per minute in the world through how I show up, through my gifts, through my talents, so that I could at least get 19 cents of that back in my pocket for the value that I created? 19 cents per minute. That's all I need you to focus on. Anytime you get home, anytime you have a break from work, from your corporate plantation job, all I need you to focus on is, how do I create 50 cents of value in the world per minute so that I can get 19 back? That's all. 19 cents per minute to have 6 figures a year. 19 cents per minute. This is a quarter. I know. I know this is a quarter, family. I know this is not 19 cents. It's the closest thing that I had. Okay. All you need is 19 cents per minute, family, which is $11.42 per hour. $11.42 per hour. That's all. Or $274 per day. $274 per day would be $100,000 per year. But again, remember that 19 cents per minute is also when you're sleeping. It's not just your waking hours. The calculation would be different if we were looking at your waking hours. We want to position your mind to think of ways to get paid when you're asleep. We want to think of ways for you to get paid when you were asleep. Wake. All right, so we're recording over here. So where we left off, YouTube cut out. I think my internet dropped. It's back, but I don't see the chat in YouTube going. So I'm recording on my tablet, and I'll have to piece together the videos afterwards. But the question that I left off, which is, how can I create 50 cents of value, 2 quarters, in the world so that I can get paid 19 cents per minute? If I can figure that out, if I dedicate all of my thought energy after I leave the corporate plantation to that, then I will figure out how to make $100,000 a year. Okay? So we're at the bottom of page 284 now. Based on the old way of thinking about money, you thought the TV was inexpensive because it was on sale at a 63% discount. But you already know that a major electronics company wouldn't sell something for less than it cost them to make, market, and distribute it. So did you really get a discount? When you learn to see this purchase through the lens of expensive or expansive, you realize that this TV initially appeared to save you $800 financially, but it cost you $58,000 in additional income. $58,000 in additional income. If it lasts for 5 years, the true financial cost of the TV is $292,000. If that TV lasts for 5 years and you watch it for 4 hours per day, when you could have been making $40 per hour instead, that one TV will cost you $292,000. And when the TV is no longer useful after 5 years, You will not have expanded your personal, intellectual, social, or financial capital at all because of it. This is how you look at your spending, your use of money from an expensive or expansive perspective. Okay? This is why I don't watch much TV. I watch one show at a time, and I might follow one team during the NBA postseason. That is it. No watching power if you have no power in your life. No watching power if you have no power in your life. No watching Breaking Bad if you're catching bad breaks. No watching Scrubs if you are one. No watching Insecure if you have no financial security. No watching the NBA when you could be getting your MBA online for free via YouTube University. I'm going to repeat that. No watching Power if you have no power in your life. No watching Breaking Bad if you're catching bad breaks. No watching Scrubs if you are one. No watching Insecure if you're financially insecure. No watching the NBA when you could be getting your MBA online for free via YouTube University. Yeah, I wrote that. It's in the book. Okay? Has your time and money gone to expensive things that you perceived were inexpensive, or has it gone to expansive things? The bigger the TV, the smaller the bank. Many of the things you thought were inexpensive have actually cost you a lot of time and money. And not purchasing many of the things you thought were expensive, but were really expansive, have cost you a lot of time and money that you could have too. I'm going to repeat that. Many of the things that you thought were inexpensive, like that TV, have actually cost you time and money. A lot of it. And not purchasing or investing in many of the things that you thought were expensive, that coach, that coaching program, that education, that piece of technology, that screen printer, that computer, that music mixer, that microphone. Not purchasing many of the things that you thought were expensive, but were really expansive, have also cost you a lot of time and money that you could have right now. Anytime you have a financial decision to make, ask yourself, does this feel, I want you to go into that feeling, does this feel expensive or does it feel expansive? Does this feel expensive or does this feel expansive? Am I going to release this money and never see it again? Or am I going to release this money and it's going to come back to me multiplied? That's how you know the difference between whether something is expensive or expansive. So that concludes our reading for today. I want to apologize for the technical issues on YouTube and Instagram today. Both acted up, but it's all good. Tomorrow we're going to be moving into money commandment number 8. Okay, how the rich and righteous manifest money and wealth. Hustle versus align. Hustle versus align. Now today is the first of the month, February 1st, and what I want you to do is we have a ritual that we do, that I do. I calculate my net worth. I need everybody to take some time this evening to calculate your net worth. What that looks like, it looks like taking all of your assets and adding them up, then taking all of your liabilities and adding them up, and then subtracting your liabilities from your assets and seeing what your net worth is. And we're going to do this at the first of every single month. This is what I've been doing for probably over 5 years now. And the goal is for our net worth to increase every single month. Our net worth should be increasing. And if we are able to increase our net worth by 1 to 1.25% every single month, we will achieve the wealth that we desire. We will become the richest family in the world over time. If we can literally just get our net worth to increase by 1.25% every single month. Okay? So what are your assets? The assets are going to be money in your checking account, money in your savings account, your stock portfolio, your 401k, the actual value, appraised value of your home, okay? The actual sales value of your car right now from Kelley Blue Book, okay? Then from there, you're gonna subtract the mortgage on that home, okay? Any credit card debt, any student loans, right? Any other loans that you have, medical bills, any taxes that you have or due, these are your liabilities. So once you get your assets minus your liabilities, that will give you your net worth. So my homework for all of you, and I'm going to ask you if you did it tomorrow, my homework for all of you is to calculate your net worth tonight. You're going to need to log in. You're going to use a Google spreadsheet or an Excel document. You're going to need to log into all of your accounts. You're going to need to log into all of your accounts. One thing we have to do as stewards is we have to give an account of what we're actually stewarding. So if God were to come to you and say, I would like to give you more, but I need to know how you're doing so far. Many of you would not be able to give an account of whether or not you've been a good steward of the resource that you've been given. I would pull out my spreadsheet and say, God, here's how I've been performing. Here's how I've been multiplying your stored energy. Here's how I've been multiplying the inert spiritual substance that you've given me called money over the past 5 years. You can see it month by month by month. I've multiplied what you've given me. And what does God say? You've been a good steward, and I give you more. God comes to you and he says, hey, I would like to give you more. Can you please show me what you've done with what I've already given you? Well, I don't really, I don't really know how I'm doing. You're not keeping track. You can't show me growth. No, I mean, I'm making more money at my job, and I paid down some debts or whatnot. But you can't show me that you've actually multiplied what I've given you. Therefore, that energy, that God energy, moves on. And it says, you know what? I'm going to give that resource to Jullien. I'm going to give that resource to this person over here who's actually demonstrated and can show me right now in this moment that they are being a good steward of the resource that I've given them. So I'm seeking to make you better stewards. This is all in the parable of the talents. You go read the parable of the talents, that's exactly what occurred. Okay? I want you to be better stewards, and being a better steward will mean that more comes to you and through you. To you and through you. It is not for your own personal gain. It is for you to, being a steward means that you are the one who is allocating it, making good decisions about it, multiplying it. Why? To bring heaven on earth. To bring the greatest good that you can see for yourself and others in the world down into this material experience. That's what we're here to do. We're here to bring heaven on earth. Heaven is our mental experience of life. Earth is our material experience of life. We are experiencing hell when our mental experience, the greatest good that we can see, is not matched up with what we're actually experiencing materially. Okay? And so we're here to bring heaven on earth as it is in heaven, as above, so below. That's what we're here to do as children of God. God is working to us, or through us, every single day, if we allow him to. If we allow it to, excuse me. Let me remove gender. If we allow it to. Okay? If we allow it to. The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. We want to be the best stewards of this resource. And so we need to change our relationship to money. Money is not evil. It is something that we can use to do more good and more God on this earth. So with that, I will see you tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you joined us late, if you joined us late, we are reading Rich and Righteous, Spiritual Secrets to Mastering Money, Manifestation, and Your Mind. We had some issues on Instagram and YouTube today, so I will post the replay up on YouTube so you can check that if you had to jump off, you couldn't find out where we went to. And then with that, I just want to say thank you for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you'd like to get the book, you can go to moneyandmanifestation.com. Again, that's moneyandmanifestation.com to get the book. And if you are in a temporary state of lack and you don't have $100 to get the book, okay, you can actually go to our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/rich and righteous. And there are literally people in there who are seeking to give away the extra copies of their book. Because when they purchased the book, they got 5 copies. And they're actually looking to give away the other 4. So with that, I wish you a great day. That was a powerful 3 pages. Plus, we had some technical difficulties. But that was a powerful 3 pages. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we step into a new commandment, our 8th commandment, money commandment number 8, how the rich and righteous manifest money and wealth. We're going to be talking about the difference between hustling and aligning. All right? Everybody have a good one. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.